Hey guys, how's it going? It is Drake. So Wolverine is upon us, or at least it is in maybe like 2.5 years or 2 years. This was an interesting announcement from Insomniac Games because Spider-Man went gangbusters. It did super well for them, it did super well for PlayStation, it did incredibly well for Marvel in getting their name out there even more than it already is. And this is really big for one reason, and I want you to chime in the comments. This swings open the door for a Marvel Cinematic Universe on PlayStation. Now, my best bet for the next character or the next franchise character to bring along from the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel Universe was Daredevil. It seemed to fit in line with a lot of the mechanics they already have in the Spider-Man games. They've already got the city, they've already got the mechanics built for Spider-Man, and it meant they could kind of churn the games out a little bit more, right? You look at something like Daredevil, he swings around with his, like, I don't know what it's called. He swings around with that. You've got the combat, which is very similar to Spider-Man. You've got the character tone, which is different, but you could still make it kind of funny here and there, and the narrative team would work wonders with that, I'm sure. That sets up everything for a Marvel Cinematic Universe on PlayStation. Wolverine is an interesting one, though, because it really takes a leap away from everything Insomniac have ever really done before. Even something like Resistance still had the playfulness of all of the weapons from Ratchet and Clank. Wolverine dives away from all of that. I think it's going to take a lot of inspiration from something like The Last of Us Part 2. And when I say that, I don't mean it's going to be an 18. But I think when you look at the combat, the hand-to-hand combat or the like machete combat, I think it takes to like little moments from that. It's really satisfying combat in The Last of Us Part 2. And if they can inject that into Wolverine and the movement and the verticality that you get with Wolverine, yes, it's going to be very, very, very good. There is there's two issues I have with this. The first one is healing. I don't know how they handle healing in this game. I know Spider-Man's are really difficult to take down, but Wolverine is effectively invincible. So I don't know how they handle that from a game mechanic way. They ran into this problem, I mean they didn't, Ubisoft did, Montreal ran into this problem in 2008 with Prince of Persia. The character couldn't die, narratively speaking, but when you would fall off something, you would get regenerated, which is just effectively dying and respawning. Wolverine literally cannot die for the most part. So I don't know how they give you or me any challenge in the game when it comes down to that. If you have anything, please tell me in the comments below, because I have been racking my brain since the reveal trying to figure out how do they make the game challenging if you cannot die. Number 2 is going to be, well, they're that studio now, aren't they? They are just that studio. The same way there's a place that just churns out FIFA games or Madden games or whatever it is, or Ravenclaw or Sledgehammer or whomever, they churn out Call of Duty games. Insomniac might be the team that just churns out Marvel games. Very good Marvel games, mind you. Marvel games nonetheless. So I'd be interested to see if they open up, a second, third, fourth studio just to take on this kind of monumental task of bringing out quadruple A level games. Especially for someone like Disney and Marvel, like the requirements there are hefty. You have to make something that's incredible. This game requires 8.5's like absolute minimum on its worst day. Like it's unacceptable. So they need to be putting out their 9s and 10 out of 10 games. They have the ability to do that. They've already done it with Spider-Man. They've already done it with Miles Morales. What do you think? Do you think Wolverine is a step too far for Insomniac Games? Do you think it's going to be an absolute banger? Like, what do you think? And more importantly, who is the next character? Who's the next character they go after? Keep in mind, they want to include that verticality. They want to use the elements from the game engine. I'd be very interested to see what they do with it. Tell me down below. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.